What's up, guys? Today we are back with another video, and we're just going to be talking about some underrated things that I bring to the farmers market. If you guys have, first of all, I'm your one-stop shop for all your farmers market needs. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit the description box. Also, feel free to ask them in the comment sections. If I have time, I will hit you back. I don't have many comments, so I only had one comment so far, and I've been posting videos since March. It is now currently April. So if you have any, like I said, any questions, just hit me in the comment box. Today, what we're gonna be talking about, like I mentioned before, is underrated things that I bring to the market. So one of the biggest things that I like a lot is my sign. I actually had someone design it for me. It's the guy who manages my social media. The reason why I like it so much is because it's just very proper to who I'm marketing to. When I look at a farmer's market lady and I see the aesthetics of different things ladies like, don't mind the board right now, it's a little scratched up. I think my sign really matches that, and I think it really catches the eye of a woman walking by just because of the aesthetic of it. Whereas before, I've had signs before where it's kind of silly, something like you don't really take serious. And then sometimes before I did the design myself, and then it was just kind of like, like I'll look at it maybe, but the design I have right now really catches the eye of my target audience. And sometimes you have to get a designer to do it for you, bro, because there's a reason why some things are a full-time job and that person is just qualified and he's just specialized in that field. So I'd say number one is definitely my sign. Number two, one thing I really love the most is getting compliments on my labels. My product labels are on fire, if I could say so myself. I took about 4 years just getting it right and getting it to where it needs to be. I remember when I was first doing my own labels and I thought they were decent, but then I was always like, I could do better. Then I moved to the next labels. I was like, I could do better. I kept designing it for myself. Then I had a designer assist me. And once I had a designer assist me, that's when I just started getting the compliments of, oh, your packaging is so beautiful. And I really feel like when I get UGC creators to promote my product, it draws them in. Not only does it draw the people at the farmers markets too, but the UGC creators seem like they just really want to promote my product. Obviously, because I'm paying them too, but that's neither here or there. I just think it's really clean. My favorite looking one is the Stay Calm, No Stress for sure. Another thing I would say is something slept on that I like at the market a lot that I wouldn't feel right if it wasn't there is the tent lifters I have. The table lifters I have. The table lifters, all it is are me putting bed risers underneath my table to give it an elevated feel. I just think that if you have a table flat on the ground and you're looking down like this, you're not as likely to take the product serious or have a yearn to buy the product rather than if it was in your eye level face like this. I don't know, something about looking at it down like this just makes me think, I don't know, I just think people, if they look like this, that they just, I don't know, they take it more seriously. Another thing about the table risers is that it just makes your booth look more, it just fills the room in your booth more. And I just feel that if your booth looks kind of empty, it'll just be kind of weird if it looks empty. Another thing I like a lot is my water radar, my water thermometer radar. It's kind of like a thermometer for the water, the hot water. So I just put it in the pot, I scan it, and I see the degrees of the pot. And this is something slept on that I just brought to the market. I used to not bring to the market because I just didn't think I needed one. I would put my hands on the urn to feel if it felt hot enough. Sometimes I just press the button and then the water would run under my fingers and I'd be able to tell. But I just love how it gives me an exact temperature. So maybe one day if it's cold or my hands are cold and I run it and I just don't feel like it's hot enough, like maybe it just gives me a precise number basically of, okay, I need to turn it up, turn it off, turn it up, turn it off. And it just helps me keep from burning people's tongues, because back in the day, man, I think I burnt like 10 people's tongues bad. Like, you ever had hot water so hot that it tasted like hot metal, bro? I really did burn people's tongues back. And if I could go back and prevent myself from doing that, then I definitely would. So yeah, the thermometer, the hot water radar would be the next one. Then last but not least, one of my favorite things that I think is so underrated that I have at the market is the papers that I bring. And the papers have all the information about the different products. I think a lot of people don't. I'm like the only one that I know that does this method, where I give them a paper and they read off the paper, because it just helps the people know exactly what they're getting into. Guys, if you guys go to a farmer's market, there's just different types of people. You can get those I don't want to say airhead, but they're airy type of people, where it's kind of a lot is going on, so they're just kind of looking around, and if you tell them something, they're kind of paying attention, but they're looking this way, looking that way. Me giving them a paper, and then first of all, me giving them the paper gives them an excuse to come to my booth, and it positions them in front of my booth. Then when they start reading the ingredients, they're putting, rather than me saying, oh, this is good for that, that's good for this is good for that, they can hear me say that, and then they can read it on the paper. Because you guys don't know how many times that, even with the paper, you don't know how many times that I've said, hey guys, would you like to try a sample? We have this, and you can sample any of them. And they'll be like, oh, okay. Do you guys have free samples? So it's just, the paper just really helps with information, if people retain it better, if they're reading it or not. And yeah, that's basically all I got. Guys, I'm not gonna even lie, bro. I love being consistent with posting these videos. That is the last one I had. So yeah, if you guys could just like, subscribe, comment, do what you gotta do, I would love that. Every time I see a like, my first comment ever was like, okay, find your niche and keep going. But every time I see a like, every time I see views, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm on the come up. So yeah, that's all I got to say. I am still planning on this year being the last year at the farmer's market, but I still have knowledge for days. So yep, like I said, like, comment, subscribe, and drop what you think is the most underrated thing that you bring to the market. And this is FM Guru out.